Now we'll work the forearms here. For the forearms, I'm not going to do all those little individual muscles. I feel like if there's a time where I cheated, it's going to be the forearms a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, well, actually, maybe before I do the forearms, I think I might do the triceps here. So I feel like with the triceps, I'm going to kind of create two kind of horseshoe muscles. Okay, so like one here and then one up here. And that's obviously going to be sitting underneath this muscle, shoulder, deltoid. Okay, excellent. And the reason that I wanted to do this first is because I feel like the forearm is actually going to kind of have a relationship with that. So I'm going to kind of find the elbow right here. Whoop. Right about here. And then I'm just going to kind of have one side come down to that, and then the other side kind of come to the other side of that. And then what's going to happen is that the forearm is going to actually, you know, if we look here, it's going to kind of come from underneath that muscle right there. And then it's going to, let me take a look at the, yeah, it's going to come here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a line from the bicep. So here's the bicep muscle. And I'm going to come kind of straight down to the thumb side. And notice I said thumb and not like inside or outside, because I feel like a lot of times the arm or the hand can be twisted. It's one of the only areas on the body that can twist in that fashion. So I feel like if you're looking at reference, really make sure that your character is in the same position as the reference is showing. Now, of course, we modeled this to this exactly, but I feel like a lot of times, you know, you might not have the luxury of having something like that so exact. Here I'm going to go from the elbow to the pinky side. Again, notice that I said pinky side for the same reason. There we go. And you can, so I'm thinking about that as kind of one unified mass. Again, it's made up of a lot of individual muscles, but I feel like just respecting kind of the inside or the borders of it, because I feel like this is going to be the other muscle here. There we go. And that's going to come right down there. And this is going to be more on the palm side of it. So I'm going to kind of go like this. And then this one should be easy, because once you have the other one finished or established, then this one should be easy to find where it goes. And that's kind of the extent that I'm going to do with that. And you can see that I'm going to kind of wrap this around and kind of bring it under the tricep here. And that's again why I did the tricep first, so I know where to go. And then there's going to be this little negative space between the bicep, the forearm, and the tricep. And so I'm just going to kind of add a little bulge in there, and that's going to be the brachioradialis, which is another muscle that is really severely covered, but that's okay. I always leave that one for last, because I think that you'll know the area of that, because it's going to just naturally kind of form if the other muscles are correct. Okay, great. And we're really starting to see this character start to come to life. Obviously, it's going to need some work, but I feel like we're really getting a sense of it now. Notice up here, like some of these areas, how deep they go. I feel like I'm not going to worry about going like cutting into the model super deep. And you'll notice that I've been basically using Z add, or I'm sorry, the plus the whole time, additive sculpting. Okay, this might be an area where I do some negative sculpting, but I feel like I generally like to build up the form. I think it's easier to get the right shape. But don't forget that you do have the ability to, if I press on the negative, I can go like this and I can kind of cut in a little bit. Again, I prefer to kind of build up. And I'm kind of developing this trapezius muscle back here, kind of based on the front. And then we can kind of make some artistic choices when we're ready to do that, right? And what I mean by ready to do that is when we kind of have all of the muscles at least established, then we kind of determine how buff or non-buff we want the character to be. But again, I feel like a lot of people, I think, want to jump into that stage too early. Where again, what I'm suggesting is just kind of having to make sure that you're happy with the form first. I'm going to kind of even start establishing maybe a little bit of the jawline here. Okay, cool. So that transition from the from the torso to the head, that's important. And it's almost as if when I start doing this stuff, it's almost as if when I'm more confident that I know that something is in the correct spot and that it's working, I feel like I'll kind of go over it a little bit darker and push a little bit harder to say, yes, that's what I want, that's the form that I want. I'm not going to do that too early because I feel like it might be kind of obviously too early for that kind of specificness, that kind of commitment. But I can start to see that this is starting to work. I can see that I'm getting a little overzealous on the trapezius here. And I can go to the grab and I can kind of push that back down. So again, it's nice to kind of stay in check here. Checking our silhouette. All right, looking good.